Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Irfan Jani. My student identification number is 3 is T 201861 and 30. And in here, I would like to explain to you about a topic that related to the use of language in restaurant. That is how the naming of the dish, how naming of the dish, the different naming of the dish between the restaurant that originated from Jember and the restaurant that not originated from Jember, especially the multinational restaurant or franchise restaurant like KFC, McDonald's, and so on. And here we go. So the naming in the restaurant that is originated from Jember, they tend to use the normal name. They tend to use original name of the food. Like for example, in a restaurant in the middle of the Jember, the soto ayam dahlok, they tend to use a name a soto ayam or nasi soto ayam rather. They tend to use a normal name in their dish, like for example the naming of a soto ayam. They tend to use soto ayam itself rather than a more unique or more weird or more different way to describe or naming their food. The naming in restaurant of in restaurant that is a multinational restaurant or a franchise restaurant, they tend to use a word in English. Like for example, in KFC, they tend to describe their fried rice as fried rice rather than use more Indonesian style of word like kentang goreng. They tend to use a word fried rice rather than kentang goreng. And also we found a quite interesting fact in restaurant that is targeted the market of the millennial generation or the young generation. They tend to use a more unique, more weird, more new stuff of that naming of their food. For example, in Migachuan restaurant, they tend to use naming to name their food mie iblis to describe their super spicy noodle rather than mie pedas, which is the original name of the dish itself, but they try to make it more unique in their way. So why this happened? Why every restaurant had their naming different, how they describe their food, they describe their dish different? It is because how how they try to target the market of their food. Like for example, in soto ayam dahlok, they tend to use a normal naming of the food because they try to target a market of more mainstream market, the people who not used to a mainstream weird or unique naming. The they tend to use they tend to use a normal stuff in their food. And while in KFC, they try to target the market of people that used to using English, or the people that that had higher social class and had more access to English education. And in Gachuan, they targeted a market of young people, a millennial generation that they used to this kind of that they used to naming a food or naming a stuff that has a weird, unique or new naming that not used to people that in mainstream itself. So that's all I can say. That's all I can try to explain to you on a different naming of food between the restaurant that originated from Jember and that the restaurant that is not originated from Jember, and also the restaurant that targeted a market of more millennial generation. Uh, Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your participation. Is there any kind of problem or wrong in how I spell in the food, I'm really sorry about it. I'm still learning, you know. And thank you for your attention. And wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.